This is the reading for Libra. This is, I thought of this reading over the summer to try and give insight to couples. So I'm breaking it down to masculine and feminine each sign and trying to figure out where they are spiritually so that they may gain a better understanding of where they're at and be more compassionate in dealings with them. So I'm going to start out with the Libra females, where we're at here. We have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is, spiritual wisdom. It may also be that they may be outsourcing to someone of higher learning, someone who can give the answers, someone they've trusted in high esteem. So there's three characters here in the Libra female's life, and I feel like they're maybe at a troubled point here, but nonetheless I'll read on. So there may be a person of spiritual nature that's coming into these Libra's lives to give them help give them clarity on something. The Knight of Cups is, usually I see that as he's on a white horse, right? He's there to offer assistance and love in that way. And then we have the Knight of Wands. And it's funny because the Knight of Cups is looking directly at the Knight of Wands, and it's kind of like they may be sparring here, vying for someone's attention, but we'll see. For those in a committed relationship, there may be a love offer from someone who's very fiery, meaning you have a lover who is suddenly becoming very tumultuous and very fiery. And I feel like that might be out of their nature because the main focus here is the Knight of Cups is understanding. He's growing and learning, but he's understanding emotionally where he's at, and the Knight of Wands is just charging in. So these are kind of opposing forces. So I'm not too sure, but as I go, I'll read into where that sits. But basically having to go out, outsource to someone of high esteem, someone in a higher position than they are to give them guidance. And I feel it's about love, and it may be about some kind of chaos that's going on in that way. So that's where they sit character-wise, these Libra females. Now the first card I get on the love side is honesty is essential. To be a loving person, it's important that we speak truthfully and in a loving manner. This is interesting because I did the reading, and I'm pretty sure, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure my reading over the summer for the Libras kind of involved some kind of honesty here coming forth, and I had a high sense that they were in a position where they were holding things back in the relationship that kind of needed to be said, yet they were unaware of how important it actually is. So I feel like they're still in that place. Now they're going outward to talk to someone about it, so there may be a little inkling as to what it is. I have a feeling that it's the other person that will guide them to say, yeah, you need to say this, because they're really unaware that there's an importance there within that. So honesty is essential. Don't cover up things that don't need to be covered up. I feel like there's a laying down of the mat here for lying that just should not be. So don't go into that. That creates bad karma. So just don't do that. And I feel like it's innocent enough, but we need to avoid that. So the next card I get on the love side of things is get to know each other. Learning to meet each other's need for love is important for a relationship to grow. So that's pretty straightforward. But in this case, I feel like there's a lot of things here that we need to talk about. And I feel like the past, for these Libra females, the past for them has not been dealt with in this way. They've kept everything from their partners, so they feel they should do this in this relationship, and it's not the case. You need to divulge some information here, and it seems like there's a need more now than I was even stressing in the beginning of the summer here. There's a need more now for that information, but yet I feel like these Libras are unaware of what it can do. So that's why they go to the council. That's why they're going to somebody to ask about this, and I feel they will be given that information. So they just need to go forward with it. The last card I get on the love side is look at your patterns in relationship. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. So there is a pattern here that needs to be broken. And that is the hiding and the it's okay, don't tell, or not exposing everything. And I think everybody really just has to be, the more transparent you are, the less you have to worry about within the relationship. All you can do is say, well, I was 100% honest and I couldn't do any better than that. And you really can't be faulted for that. You really can't be faulted in a good, pure, honest way. If you've got a good partner, you need to entrust in them to handle things. And if you don't entrust them to handle things, that is a lack of trust. So that's what creates the downfall of relationships to begin with. So look at the patterns that you're doing. Look at your results from the past. Again, I'm trying to keep these low here, but it's bringing out, this is something you've had problems in the past, not even recognize that it was a problem, but you may have to look at that as well. So there's a pattern here, and it has to do with honesty and not being upfront. The thing is, though, I think with these Libra women, it is out of their compassion that they feel they are lying, which is double-edged, because they feel like they're saving the feelings of the other person, but it is absolutely in the wrong way. It's having the reverse effect, and they think it will on their partner, so they just need to open up and let that flow. No matter what it is, it needs to be received by the partner, and that's the feeling I'm getting. So hopefully that gets resolved. When we go into the sex side of things, get the 5 of Wands. There's a lot of envy in the physical side of things here over the fall. We have the 5 of Wands. So there's someone that's looking on at a relationship and admiring that. So there may be an admirer of your relationship, or you may be admiring someone else's relationship and going, how do I get that? And I have a feeling that it is a sense of you going, there's stuff missing in mine, and oh, that one looks nice over there. But, I mean, everything, the grass is greener, right? But it's not necessarily for the right reasons either. You may be seeing things or not seeing things in the relationship that are working or not. Meaning, you may see things and they look like they're working, but they may not be working. So they look good from afar. And that's the illusion of seeing something outside of your own relationship. But nonetheless, so an envy for someone else's relationship in a physical sense, wanting it to be different, wanting your relationship physically to be different. The next card I get is the King of Cups. So that is the man who is emotional. He's compassionate. He is caring and loving, and not only that, he has got all the riches, and he's stable and sturdy, and so he's got everything and a bag of chips, like it's all in there. The love and the compassion on the softer side of things, emotional depth, all of that. So that may be an extension here of what is missing, or what is thought of as missing. So be aware. Now the next card I get is the 5 of Pentacles. And the 5 of Pentacles is that romance thing. The more I go through this, the more I get that this is part of daydream, part of a life that is not here, a yearning for this kind of thing. And I think maybe there is that is the reason. There's something missing here, but you're not willing to let your partner in on that. So they have no way of making that come true for you. So if that is the case, then you need to do that and expose that. And if they can't deliver, then you have to get real with things. You have to deal with things as they are and realize, okay, is this what I want? I don't feel it's that detrimental. I feel like there's just kind of a daydreaming sense with these women. I think they're sitting there going, I got a low spot here, and things aren't so, either you're in the grind of the relationship and things aren't very sparky. They're just kind of mundane. So you're wanting more spark, not wanting to ask your partner for it, so therefore you will not receive. And feeling, your partner's very caring and giving emotionally, but maybe in the bedroom you're looking for a little more oomph, but you're not wanting to ask for it, therefore you can't receive it, that kind of thing. So you have to do that in order to save your relationship, really, because you're going to end up being in the pit of daydreams, and that just ends up, you're just not engaged in the real thing. So I feel like that's really the case here. But I feel like there's a little more depth there just than just the daydream thing. I think there's some issues here, some grounded issues that need to be dealt with, and you're going to go to a trusted friend who you feel will have the answers, and they may just point you in the right direction or give you some highlights that you need put upon you, and therefore get you where you need to go. I feel like that's kind of faded in a way. This person coming in, they're going to kind of, okay, wait a minute here. You can't, redirect you. So for the Virgo females, for anyone wanting to get with them, I would say, work on the romance. Look at romancing them. I mean, romance is not dead. It just, people refuse to use it anymore. They feel it's no good, or it's not going to get them anywhere, or they need a new thing. No, we need to get back to the, fluffing people up here. It really does help, really does work, and it really does work on some people. And Libra females will definitely enjoy the attention. And I think not only that, I think the person that's giving or willing to give in a single relationship, willing to give that care out of compassion and a greater part of who they are, and the fieriness in the bedroom, that kind of thing will just really rev these Libras up to where they want to be. I think things are kind of getting stale and their head's going off in places, so they need to get that fired back up. So for the mated Libras, they may need to get, I feel like they're getting into books and reading about stuff that they just know that their partner can't deliver. So I'm not too sure what the answer is there for the partnered Libras. I think they really have to focus on the positive and less on the negative side of what they're missing, and focus on the good side, and then that will help you enjoy the rest. It kind of does get mundane when you're in the relationship and you kind of taking things for granted, but being partnered, period, is really a blessing that a lot of people, I think, take for granted. So they need to kind of just look at the good things and look at the things of the past that maybe you had from this person that they're maybe not delivering now, so it's in the repertoire, you can bring it back in. That kind of thing, I think, will get you somewhere. Now, for the male Librans, the first card I have is the Nine of Pentacles. So they're feeling quite good in their home life. They're feeling that all their eggs are in a row, in a basket. Everything's contained, and they're feeling good about where they are. They're enjoying life as it sits with all that they've accumulated and all that they have where they're at. So a good sense of contentment really is what's going on for these Libra males. On the other side of things, we have Justice. So they're feeling balanced. That's really what that card is about as well. Having a sense of balance. I got everything, and I'm not really lacking. Everything's balanced, and I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling just in the world. And not only that, morally and ethically as well. I think they feel on a deeper level. These Libra, they're an air sign, so they got to feel that balance in their mind, with the world and how things sit. So they're seeing that at this point. The end card I got for their character is the 21, the World. So there's been a completion here. And I do sense from the other readings that I had for Libras, they were going through a rough patch, these men. So there is a sense here of enjoying what they got at this point. They were not in that energy a while back. So that's good in itself. Just that contentment is really good leap for these males. So they're having and they're feeling the contentment within their world and the justification of everything that they have around them. And that is good. That is what they need to feel unified. Everything's in its place. So that's good. They're in a good place, a happy place for these Libra males. So that is good. On the love side, it says, express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. So for the singles, obviously, and even for the couples, right? There's nothing wrong with buying your wife a gift, or even someone that you're dating, going out and expressing the love that you feel in a giftful kind of way. as long as you know that that's what, they'd be into. So that is a tip for you. The next card is love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is true. Seems like they weren't looking in the right directions before, and now are realizing more to the fact that, yeah, there is love around me, and yeah, I'm starting to feel it. Just focusing on it, yeah, okay, I feel it. And diving into that. So love is around, so just take advantage of that. I'm getting for the singles. There's options aplenty, is what they're saying. There are options out there. You really have to just look and see and believe that they're there, and not just because, but your view may be distorted. So there are options in that way. So just look and go outward in that way. Go out of yourself and step into it, and you will see that come back. And then the last love card we get is physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. And this might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. So especially for the singles, I'm getting a lot of these Libra singles here. Just go out of yourself and be gregarious. Go out a little more than you usually do. Show the affection in a physical way, like they said, holding a hand, giving a hug. Even if you're not a huggy, touchy, feely kind of person, go and flirt with it. Play that card, because it will pay off for you in spades. You will gain not only accolades, but a few phone numbers, and then options, right? And it is all around you. There just seems to be a swarm. I'm seeing almost a complete circle, like a sea around these Libra males. They know, oh yeah, there's good energy here, but they're not aware of how deep it can go, of like a possible relationship or a possible deepening of the friendship that is really worth the effort to put in, and that kind of thing. And for the males that are taken, there's an expression that's being lost here. We're needing to, give gifts, your touch, and believe. I think there's a lack of the males in a relationship to realize that this would be really accepted warmly, a gift or the touch. But it absolutely, I think they're taking for granted that touch and the gift, how much it can do for that other person. So they need to click into that, because it's absolutely something, especially when you have it from a loving partner, from your loved partner, So, and if it's something that you don't do all the time, it will absolutely become an explosion, right? It'll be a good thing. Yeah, anyway, now we get into the sex side of things. We have the Four Swords. Again, this card's popping up all over the place. Taking charge in the bedroom to a point where you got to watch yourself. But the next card here we have is the Three of Pentacles. So that's interesting, because the Three of Pentacles is kind of like the happy home sex life card, It's like jumping off of work and jumping into the bed right away, and everybody's, it's not a task to do it. It's like, yeah, let's go, and everything's happy-go-lucky. So these Libra males are maybe taking charge in the bedroom and getting good results. Their partners are warming up to them and feeling very giving and loving, and it's a full circle. It's coming back and forth, and it's paying off. Now, the last card we get is the Tower. So there may be some jealousy. You may have a good sex life, and you may have some people in the background there. I'm saying some people. Yeah, there's one in the card, so I'm just going to limit it to one. But there may be someone who is looking towards your relationship in a way that is in jealousy. I wish I had that. Maybe you guys are quite gregarious and in your own right in public. You're PDA people, and people are going like, oh, maybe silently going, that's enough, but yet inwardly yearning to have that in their own life, not being or having access to that. So I feel like there's a very good, for the coupled Libra males, there's a very good warm sexuality here coming, like young and youthful, almost vibrant, but yet be aware there might be some onlookers that they're kind of being nasty about it, or wanting to know what's going on in that. And now, telling me to take note of the slate issue here. I'm getting a sense that this is come on the heels of you clearing something from your slate. So be aware that has echoes into your future here, that there may be a slippage of going back into some kind of habits or some kind of issues that you had before, cleaned off, and now this is where you got your happy. So you got to be aware that you don't go back into them. I'm not feeling it's like a sense of control in the bedroom, but it might be. It might be there's some control efforts here that have to be let loose a little bit or lean back on, because there's happiness here, but there's also, this is always a warning card for me. You know, watch she doesn't get too much control in the bedroom and overuse it. And then we get the happy card, so it's like, that's okay, it's going with the flow. And then we get this Tower card, which is really, to me, it's the jealousy card, having someone that is jealous of the physical relationship that you have with your mate or partner. And so you just have to be aware of that to a degree. But they're making me aware that there's something that you cleared off the slate in a physical level, physical issue that you had cleaned off. You got to watch you don't slip back into that in a bad way, because there's something there that maybe your partner didn't like, you and your partner had issues with. You cleared it up, and now everything's going swimmingly, and then we might just default back to that, so be aware of that. So for the Libra males, I feel if you're single and wanting to get into a relationship with a Libra male, make sure that you are balanced in your life, that things are equal, that you are moral and just and true. These are across the board, but I feel like not moral and just may slip a little bit on these guys, but not within their own right. But they have a respect for someone in the long term in that way, who's moral and just. But they're really looking for some fun in the bedroom, I think, and also appreciating that. In order to get into their side of things, you do have to be balanced in a mental capacity kind of way. I don't think anybody wants an imbalance in that area, but I feel like they are very highly attuned to suss that out. So if you're heavily emotional with ups and downs, it's not appealing to them. So balance your emotional center, and you should have an in with these guys. And if you're a good talker, good communicator, and like the energy of give and take in a intellectual kind of way, that's the way to get into these guys' good graces. And that's the way to get in the door. And then from there, you really have to keep it up. You can't fake that. You can't fake intellectualism. You have to be it. So if that is who you are, that is something that would be attractive to these Libra males. Someone who's an intellectual and can talk about a wide array of subjects and not get bored doing so, because they really like to learn about things and know about things. So that's the Libra male. The female, she's the ones that are in the partnerships, they're really committed. They're really going through some heavy stuff, cycles, and they're really kind of unaware, blissfully unaware, but they're starting to dig into that and get into that. Now, on the single side of things, if you're looking for the female Libra, you're going to have to appeal to her romantic side. You're going to have to sweep her off her feet and really tune into the romance and give it all you got in that way, and it absolutely will gain her attention. Treat her like the queen that she is, and she will absolutely respond to that. I mean, that's most women. But if you get an Aries, you might get an Aries woman. They'll go, get over, and just brush you aside. This one will not. She will take you in and say, what do you got? Okay, I'll take that. And she just will go along with it. So that's good for those men that are really the true romantics. This is where you need to go. The Libra female, she's the one that you want to be looking towards, because you can really win. You can just win. It's all in there. So hopefully that helps. I'm glad that the Libra males are getting along here into the contentment, because it really was a situation further down the road. I remember feeling very heavy with compassion for them, and them lacking compassion for themselves. So it seems like they've gotten out of that, and they've gained some knowledge and balance through that, and nonetheless working things out. So I'm feeling a lot more of the males, Libras, are on the single side. A lot more of the females are attached. So interesting how that works. But anyway, take care over the fall, and hope this helped somebody with their relationships. Take care, be kind, and have fun.